Hi there folks, this is Donna from Donna's Creative Space. Today I have a quick video on how to re-ink your Stampin' Up! Ink pads. Now this is how I do it. This isn't from Stampin' Up! Necessarily, but this is how I do it. And what you'll need is of course your stamp pad with the matching refill ink. So I always, when I buy a stamp pad, I always get the refill that goes along with it. And I've got a stamp that I'm just going to use for demonstration. What I use is a plastic spoon. I leave this in my toolkit, my card making and stamping toolkit. And then I have a piece of basic white paper to show you how to test before and after. Now, anytime that your ink pad is getting lighter, you can just go ahead and use your refill and ink it up. Now, I'm going to open up my ink pad here. Now this is my Magenta Madness. Now see, I'm hoping that this picks up on the video. Can you see how it's lighter in the middle and darker around the edges? And that's because most of us, when we stamp, we go right down into the middle. So we end up using that ink and it pulls up around the edge. So if you don't have an ink pad, you could use the back of your spoon and push the ink towards the center. So sometimes that will work. But I suggest that you get the ink refill whenever you buy an ink pad. It's only, I think, maybe $2 or $3. So it's worth it. So this is what I do. So I want to first show you. I'm inking this up, right? Tap, 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 and I'll show you. This is my before. Now see how it's light in some areas? It's just not a nice, solid, dark stamp. So what I'm going to do is take my ink refill. I shake it up a little bit. And make sure you have a work surface. I've got some grid paper down. And I've got a tissue. And then I've got some Stampin' Mist. I like to keep this, I use this to clean my stamps with my scrubber. But I also use it to clean my spoon. So what I do is I just put I squeeze a little bit of ink on. And I go in one direction. And then I go back in the other direction. And I'm only doing on the center of my pad because that's where the ink seems to be used the most. So I close my ink so that I don't spill it, and I just kind of use the back of my spoon and just swirl it around until it looks fairly even. And if you need to add more ink, you can add more, but I just do a couple of swirls of that ink back and forth, and it seems to work. All right, so now you can kind of see that center of where it was very light is gone. So now I'm going to ink this up again, and I'll show you the difference. Tap, 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 and I'm going to ink over here. And look at that. Look how nice and solid that is. Let me hold that up so you can see. And see how nice, bright, dark this Magenta Madness is compared to how light it is over here. So that is how to ink up your stink pad. Oh my goodness, your ink pad. Now what I like to do is, and if you have these ink pads, you should store them just like this, right? Because the reason that they do this flipping thing is because when you store them, watch how I close this. See that? The ink, let me see if I can show you. The ink pad is going to be upside down when you close it. So if you store it like this, all the ink is going to go to the top of the surface so that when you open it and you flip it over, it's ready for you to stamp. All right, so this is how I clean my, afterwards I clean a couple sprays of my Stampin' Mist on a tissue, and I just clean off my spoon. Now this clear one might stain a little bit because anything with pinks or reds tends to stain, but it's nice and clean for the next time. And I'll also, while I have my wet damp tissue out, I'll go around and clean up any little fingerprints I have on my ink pad. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, this nice quick video. I hope it helps you ink up your ink pad. So don't forget, purchase your ink refill at the same time as your pad so you will not go without. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.